But like the key thing I discovered for me was I want time and money, and not many things can give you both. It's usually one or the other.
You like intentionally had the feeling, had the thought, and then jumped off the cliff. How?
I don't know. I've always felt different from everybody else. Like I don't fit into the standard anything. I build a website, I take over that spot, and then I rent it to a contractor to do the work.
Welcome to Keep Hustling. Welcome to Keep Hustling, where we are going past the why to get to the how. I'm your host, the always hustling Aaron Gordon, aka NY Risk Advisor, aka Mr. Keep Hustling. In this podcast, we will be diving deep into the professional and personal successes of our guests to find out how they hustled through the most difficult times in their life and their development to achieve the success they've gotten to today. So buckle up for what hopes to be an amazing ride. And of course, now and always, keep hustling. Welcome to Keep Hustling with my guest, Luke Van der Veer. Now I'm going to say that like a New Yorker. Welcome to Keep Hustling with my guest, Luke Van der Veer. We're just going to go at that. Luke, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Aaron, and I appreciate you saying my name correctly.
I do my best. I do my best never to hide my New Yorker. Anyone who's watching, I got a new NY Risk hat with the updated New York plates because I was told that my plates were outdated.
Yes.
They update the plates in my car, but this is my current thing we're going with. And I try never to hide it, but I feel like sometimes if I go aggressively in the other direction and speak really slowly, it makes people nervous. So I kind of like that. But we're basically, this is going to be a fun conversation as I begin almost every episode. Read the bio on Luke. We're gonna have a lot of fun, but most importantly, we're gonna have fun because we're both New Yorkers. Luke lives in a place called Albany, which is very cold, even though it's the summer, but it's very cold there, and they don't have snow days. So if you're a kid, you have to live in the cold, and you don't get a snow day from school. At least here in the city, when we get snow days, most of the time our kids get off from school. So I'm not really sure why anyone would live in Albany, but maybe we'll dig into that.
Dude, there's a 10-degree difference. I actually tracked this. There's a 10-degree difference between you and me, and it's only 3 hours. So
there's a lot more than a 10-degree difference, which is the difference between me and you. If you're willing to, we could also swap city property tax.
Oh, no, I'll keep the better taxes here.
So we're thinking that it's a little bit more than a 10-degree difference between me and you in 3 hours. Got it.
Well, specifically to weather, but there's other benefits, yeah.
I want to ask you a question.
Hit me.
To start the episode, and then we'll kind of roll from there. And that is, obviously, your path is an interesting one. But what I find most interesting about your bio, and if I'm wrong on this, just let me know, is that nobody wakes up in the morning when they are in grade school or approaching college or thinking about a career and thinks that they're going to do something that's non-traditional. Now, in 2025, there are people who think that, but it's not really true. What I mean to say is that obviously when we're kids, everyone says they want to be a firefighter or a professional athlete or whatever, right, or an astronaut, and most of those things don't happen. But when a person really thinks about their career, people who are serious-minded about their careers, and not playing into Gen Z stereotypes, but people who are serious about their careers don't think about the path less traveled. Most of those people end up on that path. Most of those people end up inspiring others to pursue a side hustle. Most people end up after a career in something else, realizing that their best use of their time and their energy and their persona is to help inspire others to do better in their own lives. So how did that develop for you? How did that happen from a young age? Take us through a little bit of the story, maybe not the nitty-gritty details, but like how the evolution there from 9 to 5 to something that's not 9 to 5, with the vision, I assume, of being the 9 to 5 guy as you started your career.
I mean, I thought about this a lot, and I think society pushes us, or maybe brainwashes us, if you want to go that far, toward a very traditional path. This path of, go to school, study, get a quote unquote good job, and then just work forever until you're old enough to stop working, and now you enjoy your life for a little bit before you die. So that's like the path that society sets us up for. And I was thinking about this, and I talked to my parents recently about like, did I have any kind of entrepreneurial stuff early on? Apparently, I sold lemonade stand and whatever, and I'd always be trying to like sell things like from the beach and pick up shells and try to sell those and whatever. But I still, school and all this, I thought I'd be in a career, work my way up, try to get to some higher amount of money so I could save money for retirement. But when I actually got in there and started experiencing this, I was like, this is miserable. How do people do this? 9 to 5, 8 to 6, whatever it is, every day for like 50 years of their lives. It only took me a few weeks to be like, I can't do this. I got to do something else. So that sent me down a path of how the hell do I get out?
So I want to nail down on that of what this podcast is all about, and that is many people have that realization. So I'm not sure if I actually don't think we disagree on that. I think that many people have the realization. Most people squash it again, and then they're 15 years into the career and it's out of their mind because it's in some part of their hard drive that's dusty of their personal life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, it takes a unique personality, individual, and drive to take that 2-week realization. And it takes time, but like to leave that in the lens and then just keep focusing on it and focusing on it a little bit more, and then chasing that life. It's not like, what I'm trying to get at is I'm trying to understand how you did it, because it's not like you were sitting at home and you invented the Swiffer mop and then that took you down the entrepreneurial journey. You know what I'm saying? Like that
No.
lady who invented the Swiffer, like her life was she was cleaning her house and then she invented the Swiffer. You like intentionally had the feeling, had the thought, and then just slowly took the steps towards it and then jumped off the cliff.
Right.
How? Why?
Google. I don't know. I've always felt different from everybody else. Like I don't fit into the standard anything, and it felt like that at work. Everybody's just happy doing this, and I just am looking around, and I'm like, I don't understand. I'm like, I'm once again the outcast here. I don't. This doesn't feel right. And I started Googling how to make money online to see if I could find something, the online business or some other option. And there's a million side hustles you could do, but like the key thing I discovered for me was I want time and money, and not many things can give you both. It's usually one or the other. Like I could stay at the job and you make a ton of money if you work your way up, but then you don't have time. You have to ask somebody for time off and on all these requests, and it's like a little kid in class. Hey, can I go take a few days off? You have to wait for somebody to approve it. I've never been a fan of, I guess, of authority or of just following this path. I'm like, there's got to be some other way that people just aren't doing. I'm like, there's people that are super wealthy. They're not sitting here at a desk like I am. So
Right, but what I
clearly
think
I'm
is
doing something
interesting,
wrong.
but that's what I think is super interesting, and that's why this episode we're a few minutes in, but I really think it's going to be an important one, and that is that those people that were making the ton of money, they eventually got to a point where their career took them to working less. Like, think about the CEOs of the top companies, right?
Yeah.
Theoretically, they have unlimited vacation. Theoretically, they have all of those freedoms. They have a big staff. They make a bunch of money. They can go on private jets. They can take vacation wherever they want, things like that. But the process in getting to that freedom, as you said, that time and money, was the corporate ladder. And then they get to the time and money. Like, when it's just interesting to me that the words you said were, I saw these people who were at the top of the business and I realized, like, I want to be them, and I'm not knocking you for this because it's worked, but like at the time, it's like, hold on, I want to be that guy who's at the top of the company, but I don't want to do the work, not to sound like a parent, right? But I don't want to do the work to get there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
most people then do one of two things. They either just stay at it, as I said before, or they complain about it and do something that doesn't make sense. You
Yeah.
said, okay, I want to get there. Obviously, I'm not going to skip first, second, and third base and just get to home plate. But the path that is being paved or is previously paved that I have to walk on here in this way of doing it is not for me also.
Right.
Therefore, I'm going to find another path. That's what I'm
Right.
getting at.
Right.
It's not like you said, it's not fair that guy who worked for 20 years is further ahead of me. You were just
Right.
like, I want to be where he is, but I don't want to do what he did for the last 20
Yeah. I'm
years to
not
get
doing
there.
that for 20 years. I'm like,
You know what I'm
there's got to
saying?
be
But
a
it's
different
not like,
Yeah.
so therefore you said, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to find this thing called a side hustle. I'm going to work online. And then, so take us there. So just take us to kind of how you got to that before
Lots.
coaching.
Well, I mean, just literally Googled how to make money online. And of course, you'll come up with 7 billion side hustles to try. And I didn't really know because I didn't have any experience with any of this. I didn't do anything online. My background was human resources. I was doing benefits, but like completely unrelated. But I was like, whatever, I'm smart. I could learn something. So I'm trying to like look through different things, and I wasn't really sure what to do. And the pizza guy down the street, he owned a pizza shop. He came from Albania, owned a pizza shop down the street, and he had two sons that were working for him, working crazy hours. Their pizza was awesome. And one night I went in there and he pitched me on MLM. Um, and I was like,
English translation.
multi-level marketing.
Got it. Okay.
Right. And I didn't really know much about it other than hearing scam, pyramid scheme stuff in the back of my head. So it's like, all right, I got to Google this too. So I'm looking up all this stuff. And I think that people just say that. I mean, there are some that are like that, but a lot of this is just difficult. So then people blame it on the model instead of their effort. And I was like, I'm not shy from putting an effort. I'll work if it works. So I joined that person, and we did that for, I don't know, 2.5 years. Um, I made some money, but it wasn't enough to get rid of a job. And I slowly just kept switching models, trying different things, and everything made money, but it wasn't giving me the time. And then website rental, which I eventually settled on, that I kind of fell into, was the thing that gave me both. And that was the change.
Super interesting to note there, and I'm not in the psych field, so I'm just throwing this out there. I'm just an insurance guy. But you gave up time in the short term, even though you were seeking time, which is super interesting to me. In that, like,
Yeah.
you didn't quit the other job because you decided that you weren't going to be a financial idiot. Pardon my French, right? Like you weren't going to jump in the deep end and live in a cardboard box while chasing the dream.
No.
But like so few people are willing, and this is why I just think it's fascinating, and this is really what Keep Hustling is about. It's seeing the long term and the short term. And so few people realize that, and this is the beauty of the term side hustle, that if you are willing to say when you're younger and more energetic that I want to get here, and I realize that the next 6, 12, 18, 24, 36, not 20 years. We're not talking about 20 years. But we're saying that in my most energetic time, where I have the least to lose, if I'm willing to max out the effort, I will probably get to where I want to be. And what's the saddest thing to me are the people who realize that too late, and then their responsibilities are too much, or they're too deep into that large corporate funnel where it's
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? Like I don't have the time because my job is too demanding to have the side hustle, and I can't give up $400,000 a year. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like you said, because you had that vision that you were going to slow the corporate the progress, not jump off away from it, while training the other leg to do something else, and then able to pivot there. And I feel like that vision is something that I want to touch it. Like, what is it? How did you do it? How did you have the guts to do it?
Oh,
How did you not quit? What was the vision? And then the first one didn't work. And it's like, okay, I tried this side hustle thing, right? MLM didn't work. Didn't make the money that I thought, and or didn't give me the time that I wanted. So again, most people would then abandon the dream, double down corporate, but you
yeah.
didn't. So like,
It's probably a little bit of proving people wrong, because my parents, my friends, everybody's telling me it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I'm like, oh, you're wrong. I was like, I know I'm right. I'm going to find a way to do this. You're wrong. I'll prove all of you wrong. And it's just one thing after another. I was like, I'm going to find a way out. I don't care if if somebody else did it, it's possible. So I was like, I'm not stupid. I'll just keep going. Maybe it's just work ethic. I'm not sure. So
maybe
just
you're
keep,
just crazy. You're not stupid. Maybe you're just crazy, is what they say.
maybe I just keep going. I'm like, short-term pain for long-term pleasure. I'm
But you know what
willing
I'm saying?
to.
Like a lot of people don't do. A lot of people say like they want the long term pleasure, but they only find their willingness to take the short term pain when it's too late. That's what I'm getting at. Well,
Yeah.
the best time to take short term pain, the best time to stub your toe is when you're a kid and you don't realize what it is to stub your toe. Right? The best time to fall off the bicycle is when you don't think about all the other things. That's why kids learn to ride bikes when they're little, because they're
Yeah.
too they're too stupid. I'm
I
putting
mean, the
my hands up. You
process is
know what I
going
mean?
to suck at any time, regardless of what you do, and it's going to be hard at whatever time. But the older you get, the more difficult it is, based on all your responsibilities and other things.
100%. I didn't just call my kids stupid. I just want to be clear about that. They might listen to this one there. Can you take us to the moment when it worked?
Uh, yeah, yeah. That I had Stripe payment processor. I spoke to the business owner. Tree Service was the first one, and he paid. The charge, I took his credit card over the phone. I added it to Stripe. I hit charge. The payment came through, and I was like, I just made money online from this. I'm like, this is great. I'm like, I just got to do this a bunch of times, and then I don't have to. I can just get rid of the job. So that was like the first light bulb. And then when it actually worked, like for me, my goal was to quit. So like quitting the job, that was great. That
But no,
was
but I'm saying,
just,
but I feel like before that,
but
right?
this
Like
was the light bulb.
let's say the goal is I'm making a number, 100 clients, and then you could, or 100 swipes, and then you could, like, I feel like there's a point where maybe it's not the first one, but like at like 9 or 10, where it starts like picking up, and you're like, oh, the snowball is rolling. It's rolling. Like it's there. It's there. It's there.
Yeah.
It's there. Like, what was that? I want to know the psyche of the guy who had been working at it and tried all the other ones that failed, and then like I got the 3 clients or whatever that number was, and now it's working. What
Yeah.
is the business? Just briefly, I don't usually do this on podcasts. Like, what is the business? What is website rental?
So let's we got to give people some context.
Yeah,
So let's break something in your house. Your roof just broke. Who are you gonna? What are you gonna do?
cry. Well, I'll call the insurance company because that's what I do for a living. But yeah, you're gonna Google to find the local roofer.
Okay. What are you typing into Google?
Best roofer, Queens, New York.
Cool. Okay. And then a million people come up, right? You'll see people ads. You'll see the maps, the organic search below the maps. Who are you gonna pick?
I'd probably then ask for a referral from a friend if I'm being honest, because I'd probably be overwhelmed. Or I'll pick up the one that I think can come first, or the one that has an automatic online, quick online available appointment in the next 3 hours.
Okay. Now, why are you picking the guy that is first? And why are you not going back like 3, 4 pages?
Because I'm in a moment of craze, and I think that it's much worse than it is.
Okay. So this is what everybody does. Everybody just goes to whoever's first. And I build a website, I take over that spot, and then I rent it to a contractor to do the work. I just put up a site for whatever niche I want to do. I take it over. Everybody wants that top spot, but if I have it, there's only one. So I just broker a deal and rent it to them. And anybody that calls, all the customers that come in, I just refer it to them automatically with a system, and they pay me every month to rent it like digital real estate, as if it was a rental property, but it's a website.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
How did you even? What the? How did you even? There's so much there. There's the domain, which is probably the least significant of the process. Then there's getting to number one, proving to people that you are number one, and also getting to number one without being a roofer.
Yeah.
What the?
Well, I don't need any roofing background. I just have to be able to Google and do some research and look up what they do and how to talk about it and what people search when they want to find it, and then just make it.
You're the maddest scientist I've ever had on this podcast. You don't seem like a mad scientist, but you're a mad scientist. I don't even
Well,
get it. And these people are like, how the heck did this guy who doesn't know the first thing about roofing get the top roofing hit? He's not even a roofer.
it's funny when I talk to them because they're like, "Dude, what?"
Like, prove it. You're like, okay, here you go.
I'm like, "Okay," and I give
Search
them
for
some
best roofer,
customers.
Queens, New York. Go for it. Search for best roofer, Queens, New York.
Yeah,
I'll click on that website. Oh, by the way, you see that phone number? Dial it. I'm going to pick up. And then it's boom.
right. Yeah, that's usually what I do. I'll have customers in hand, then I approach the business owner, and it's an easy sale because I don't have to prove anything. I'm not like a marketing company where I'm like, hey, I promise you the world and it'll be, maybe you'll get results in 5 months and you pay me all kinds of money right now. I'm just like, yeah, here's Sally who needs a roof repair. Mike needs a roof replacement and that commercial building needs a new roof. I'm going to give these to you. Here you go. Do you want more? I can give you these to you all month if you pay me, and they'll pay me.
Okay, so the skill is getting to the top of the Google page, right? That's
Yeah.
the skill. Got it. Okay.
Well, finding the niches and stuff plays into how passive it's going to be. So That was all learned.
Oh, that's another interesting one, right? Like the guy who's going to hire a general contractor to build a house. I'm not sure about that because more expensive, probably more research, less click to buy. It's got to be something that's sticky with the first result.
Yeah, I mean,
I
there's a
never
lot
do this in the
that
podcast.
goes
I'm just
into
having
it,
fun. This is crazy.
right? You got different niches have different levels of competition, and then there's the target market size, the temperature of who you're going to rent it to. Do you know anybody in this niche? Do you have a friend that you could just do this and they'll trust you and they'll test it for a minute, or do you have to call somebody cold? What's the average customer value of a job that comes in? How long's the sales cycle? Is the niche phone driven, or is it something where you send people to like walk into a store? That's harder. How many local businesses are there that I could potentially do a deal with? And then looking at the search results, like, is it super competitive and everybody has a ton of content, or do the websites all stink and there's no reviews and the websites look really weak? I'd rather have that to make it easier for me. So there's a lot of little factors that play into it to decide, like, what am I going to target? What's going to be most profitable and the best use of my time to get the biggest ROI the fastest?
I love that. Okay, back to our regular schedule programming. Okay, now take us to the moment where you realize that this is it and it's time to give notice. I've never asked this question on the podcast.
It was really cool. I launched a bunch of sites all at once in just random niches, trying to figure out what to do. They all start ranking. I'm renting out sites, and I did a few in one day, just calling the contractors, and they were already like testing leads for me. And I'm like, cool, I want to do a deal, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month, $1,000 a month. And I looked at Stripe, and I'm like, I don't need my job. So I just went into work, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. And I walked out in like mid morning, in the middle of the week. It was the best. It was amazing. Nice and sunny outside. I got off the 7 train in Queens. I was in Woodside. I walked back to my apartment. I stood at the corner of the street and I was like, I don't really know what to do with myself right now. I'm like, I don't really have to work because I got these coming in. I'm like, this is awesome. And I spent 2 weeks just binging Showtime.
I love that. Do you think, I think we're going to also agree on this. Do you think that this is for everyone?
No,
Okay, we agree.
definitely not.
Meaning, I think that there are people, and obviously America and the world financial markets have proven this, where like they're just not cut out for that. Like they're not cut out for that. They're not cut out for the risk factor of doing it. They're not cut out for the failure. Like at your job where you were,
Mm,
failure risk very low.
yes.
Show up every day, besides stealing from the company and doing all these things that you shouldn't be doing. But if you do your job and you do it well and you're relatively intelligent, which most people are when they get to those jobs, and you just stay the course will, you'll float up with the course, right?
Yeah.
And for some people, that's it. I mean, that's what they should be doing, because the thought of failing at the first 4 would derail them more than being annoyed that someone else got the promotion before they did.
Right.
So I think that a lot of, and I think that that's also a very important part of entrepreneurship and hustle. We keep hustling. We talk about all the time about defining your hustle. The person who just wants to be the number 2 forever is also a value. Now, for me and for you, a certain energy, a certain frustration, whatever, but that person's great. There's nothing wrong with that person.
Yeah, no, we need people to just do normal things, and not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants to put in that extra time and take the risk and fail all these times and whatever to make it work, and that's okay.
Right.
It's just
And
if
by
you
the
have that thing and you want to push it, there's a way.
everybody should be able to find in themselves where their journey and their hustle, and then chase it and stay that course. I
Yeah,
think where society has gotten people in the wrong direction. I stay away from politics here, but it's just that the people who should be doing it don't, and the people who shouldn't be doing it do. And either way, if you're doing something that's not for you, it's going to be really hard to make it work personally and professionally
yeah,
in
yeah.
both directions, right?
There's nothing cookie cutter. You gotta know you so you can figure out if it's the right path for you.
What is the best piece of advice that you could give someone to find the best path for themselves?
Ooh, ooh, introspection, and probably listening to some Tony Robbins to unlock just that thought process of you can really do whatever you want to do, and you don't have to be constrained by what your friends tell you is right or what your parents tell you is right. That we have a lot of options on where you can go with your life and what you want to do, and you just got to figure out what feels right to you and not worry about what everybody else thinks. And I think his type of mindset training is super helpful in ignoring that and focusing on what makes sense for you personally.
I think that especially in the entrepreneurial journey, so many people run in fear of this. Like, I am not a big fan of people ripping on the generation and its laziness and whatever. But what I can say is the stigma of being told you're crazy stands in the way far less now than it ever did before.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
like younger people fear being called nuts less than their parents did. Like we're okay. I don't know how old you are, but like I am. I am more okay. I started this podcast. I drive around with crazy license plates. I have. Like my parents would have said, like, no, it's not worth it. Nah, you're
I
not.
didn't
Like,
tell mine. I didn't tell mine when I quit. They found out 8 months later. That's how much I didn't want to hear their opinion and argue with them over the phone. I was like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm not going to tell them. I was like,
but I
well,
feel like
maybe.
today it's more. Again, I think that what's gone over the top are people who shouldn't be entrepreneurs and people who are bankrupting themselves and their lives and their families and their stress and
Yeah,
things like that. Like that to me, sometimes it goes too far because there's no thought process, and I feel like there has to be a certain level of like, let's think this through. Like that's what I was tapping on earlier with you is like you thought it through, you chased it, you didn't quit your job and say that, come to your parents and say, I need a bunch of money because I failed the first 3 times. Like, I think that that's something that if people would think about, we'd have a lot more successful entrepreneurs chasing their goals and chasing their dreams. And then the world would be, certainly a more positive place.
there's a quote about this, like navigating. You have to know the destination before you can navigate to it. Otherwise, you're just sailing around aimlessly. So it's like figure out what that final destination point is going to be and what it looks like, and then figure out the path to get there. And for me, the traditional path was not going to get me there, so I didn't have another option
I
as
love
far
that.
as I see it.
I love that. Wow. Okay. This has been, I love this one. This was one of my favorite episodes. Don't tell anyone else before you, the first, whatever. I really had a lot of fun with this. Luke, as you know, we have a close tradition on this podcast where we ask our guests to leave us with their favorite motivational, inspirational quote, what it means to them, to their journey, and to their hustle. So with that, I will say thank you again for being here, and the floor is yours.
I think a lot of people want the view without the climb. And if you have to figure out if whatever that thing is that you want, how bad do you actually want it? And if you really want it and it makes sense to do this non-traditional path, then you're going to have to sacrifice that short-term pleasure for long-term pleasure, and you'll have some short-term pain. It's just an inevitable piece of it. You have to be okay with that.
I love that. Absolutely love that. This has been another episode of Keep Hustling with my guest, Luke Van der Veer. Remember, do well by doing good, and of course, and always, keep hustling. All right, hustlers, that brings us to the end of another fantastic episode. Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. If you have any suggestions, comments, or even just want to say hello, please feel free to reach out to us on all social media platforms. We are Keep Hustling Pod. Until next time, stay curious, stay hungry, and keep hustling.